Hi, my name is Tina Leader, and we're going to talk about the Introvert's Guide to Networking. By the way, if you haven't subscribed already, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that like button so you can find out the 7 steps of networking. So number 1 is shifting your mindset on what networking actually is. So when we're talking about the mindset of networking, we really want to focus on 2 different things. Number 1 is relationships. We want to be there just for maybe friends, possibly. As an adult, it's really hard to form new friendships. So personally, for me, I actually am going out there thinking, maybe this person can be my friend, right? Maybe this person, maybe we can hang out, maybe we can get coffee, especially if they're killing it in life, because I just want to be surrounded by people who are simply killing it, right? And then number 2 is we want to make sure we give. So you're there for building relationships or giving value. We're not talking about being vultures and going in there just leaving the scene with blood with your sword in the air, right? You don't want to be that person. You want to be the person who's just there as a giving person, as a person who truly wants to connect with them, because through connection is really where we want to open ourselves up to maybe talk about our business, maybe talk about our pain points, right? Maybe talk about, hey, how can we work together in order to get to that next level? But before we can get there, because it's more of a vulnerable state and people tend to be protective over their careers and money and business, we have to connect on a deeper level first for them to truly open up what's going on inside, to truly make that kind of a connection. Number 2 is to take notes on names you want to connect with. So this goes into 3 different sections. There is the pre-event, there's the during the event, and there's the post-event. So pre-event is of course doing the homework. So whether on their sites they have all of the guest lists, sometimes they have the VIP list. Make sure if they have that list, you research all of them and really get to know what each person does. Know their face, right? Have a picture of them and really study so you're in there and you're prepared to just attack and just go for it and connect with those people. Now, sometimes they don't have those names, or sometimes they don't publicly announce it. If they have a Facebook group, go into their Facebook group. You can go through it that way, right? Introduce yourself in there, make yourself known. Another way to do it, which is what I did this weekend, is I contacted support and I directly asked them, hey, what's the guest list? Or, hey, is there any VIP list that you can hand me? Sometimes they'll hand it to you, sometimes they won't, but it's that little extra step. A little quick bonus tip on this is that sometimes I like to message people beforehand if I know they're going to be there and it's a publicized thing where it's VIP list, right? Especially, or maybe a guest speaker, that I'll find them on LinkedIn, I'll find them on Facebook, wherever, even on Instagram, it doesn't matter, right? But wherever they're at, you find them and you do a quick little message. You're not pitching anything. You're not saying we should meet at a certain time. You're just saying, hey, I just noticed you're on the list. I wanted to connect with you beforehand and I just look forward to meeting you there. And that's it. And that's it. And you'd be surprised on how many people remember that, because so few people do that. So by the time you're at the event, these people will actually come up to you. The people that you wanted to connect with and you thought that you're going to have to hunt them down, they actually notice you at the event and they come up to you and say, hey, weren't you the person who messaged me on LinkedIn? Yes, I was, indeed. Utilize the lighthouse effect. So what's the lighthouse effect? The lighthouse effect is basically when you shine your lights throughout and everybody's drawn towards you. All of the boats, they go towards you. Whether you are a celebrity in your niche, which of course takes a lot of time, branding, etc. But there's another way to do that. For example, you can always dress nice. Dress professional, dress clean cut, dress like you are there for a reason. Let's say you're a man in a nice tailored suit, right? I always like that light navy blue color and that shines a little bit. Oh, every single time any guy who wears a suit like that, men and women, they look at them, they admire them, and they think in their head, what do they do, right? You actually wonder, you get curious, and you become the lighthouse effect. For women, I might say something very controversial, but very simply put, do your hair, do your makeup, wear heels unless there's a medical reason why you can't wear heels. Make sure you're wearing clothes that are fitted, and well put together. I mean, something as simple as wearing red lips, that really stands out. Actually, a lot of women don't wear red lips. And so when I wear red lips at the events, of course, there's other women who do. We actually do tend to stand out simply for that reason. So, ladies, red lips at events. Tip number 1. Step number 4 is introduction. So either you have to introduce yourself into a new group, or you have to introduce yourself individually, or the best one is if you can get somebody else to introduce you, right? So the best scenario is that somebody else can edify you before an introduction is made. This usually happens when you're talking to somebody maybe and they're saying, hey, you should meet blah, blah, blah. And you say, oh, actually, can you introduce me to them? Oh, yeah, great. You know what? She's right here. Oh, hey, Maria, this is Tina Leader. She does blah, 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 blah. And Maria, this is Tina. That is perfect, because what they're doing without maybe even knowing is that they're edifying you. And when there's a mutual connection, people tend to trust you a little bit more. It goes into the degree separation of trust, which I did a video on, so I'll put in the description on how to make people trust you. Now, when you introduce yourself into a group of people, let's say they're already talking, just step in. And usually it's a great moment to step in when one person is being really loud, or maybe they're getting into a story. That's a great time to step into a group like that, because you can simply step in without saying anything at all, and they might say something in their story, and then you comment on it right away as soon as possible when there's something to actually comment on. So I'll step into a group, somebody's telling a crazy story, and then this one woman said some inappropriate thing, and I said, whoa, okay, I clearly stepped in at a very good time. And then everybody laughed, and now I'm in the group, right? So it's really important to make sure you're self-known in the group, but don't interrupt anything if they're already having a conversation. The easiest is when they're just alone and you just want to go ahead and introduce yourself. You could just walk up to them and say, hi, my name is Tina Leader. Or another way you can do it is, hey, somebody told me that I should meet you. My name is Tina. What do you do? It also makes them feel important. So they really start to talk about themselves, which is good. And it goes into my next point. You want to go deep with the person. You want to have a deep conversation and an open conversation. And in order for people to get there, you have to ask questions about them. So it's things like, what brought you here? What specific things are you looking for? It's those kind of questions that really evokes into why they're really here, right? It's their actual motivation. This naturally goes into step number 6, which is add value to the person. So it might be adding value simply by listening to them. Nothing is worse than unsolicited advice, so make sure you ask permission first. Hey, I might know something that could possibly help you in this situation. Would you like to know what that is? So another thing is that you might know somebody that can help this individual, whether it's at the networking event itself, which is actually better if you can make that happen, because then it edifies you in some way that this person is to be trusted. This person knows people, right? And or if you just know people in your personal life already in your network, then you can go ahead and introduce that individual and get their information and make an introduction formally through email, right? You know, CC them, do all of that. Keep adding value, because what that can do and what that may or may not lead to is that they might find you later on in the event and they might introduce you to somebody. The power of reciprocity is real, people. Now, remember I talked about the list that you constantly take before the event, during the event, and then what you're gonna do after the event with this list. Well, it goes into step number 7, because we're going to follow up with that list. So I did this just this weekend when I came back from the event and I was looking through my list. And one of the people that I Googled and I found their number, I just went right ahead and I called them. But when I got on the phone with them, I acted as if we did briefly spoke for a second. So I got on the phone saying, hey Maria, this is Tina. We met at the X event and we briefly spoke for a second. But just as a reminder, I do this. So that conversation led to another, and then we formed a partnership. And it was as simple as that. We never spoke at the event. I simply wrote her name down, making a note to search her afterwards. Make sure you follow up the night of, or maybe the very next day. You really want to do it as soon as possible, just to get that first touch point. Most people will not strike in the first meeting, right? Because it takes time. We want to get to know, we want to feel comfortable, we want to feel like we trust them. And so, in order to get into the trust, know, and like, which is how people move forward with something or somebody, then you have to make sure that you have that follow-up sequence, right? You have to make sure that they're in your database and you really follow up with every single person that you wanted to get in touch with. All right, comment below and let me know out of the 7 steps, which one was an aha moment for you, or maybe something that you know you need to put more effort into, right? Most likely the follow-up sequence, because for me anyway, I know a lot of people, they tend to throw their business cards at the end of the networking event and they only follow up with maybe 1 or 2 people, right? They don't follow up with everybody. So let me know, comment below if that's the case, or maybe it's something else for you, right? I'd like to see you on the next video. So please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you like the content today, and I will see you on the next video.